Marty. So this was Joe, and your
Yeah.
greatest fears came true. You said you were scared of him. You said you were
Not
gonna
only
worry
that,
about him.
I was also very nervous about this. Is my first time playing the tournament, and I thought, oh my God, everyone, I'm going to go to this review, and everyone's going to see my stupidity on display. The only good thing is that they're only 20 minutes long, so the worst things didn't come out in front of everyone.
Well, I mean, remember the reviews. The point is to find the bad moves, right, and the bad thinking and strategy, and so we can fix it. But I understand, I guess the pressure of being like in a group, but I don't know. I that's fun. That's a funny perspective because in the Young Gunsei League, we all watch the review together, and I get, I, I think he used the term, "This is a bad quality game." You'd say my moves are bad quality, you know.
how, would,
So,
how would you how would you like to be told that in public?
well, I mean, it happens all the time. So,
I see.
I just, you step back from your ego because you remember you're learning, right? Like,
Yes.
no one's a master when they start this game. I've been playing the game for 19 years. I'm just now reaching like amateur one dan master, right? Like I'm just getting there, but it took a long time. It took a long time to get here. A lot of humiliation, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But okay, so this Joseki, same similar one as the one in this one.
Yep.
So crunching it should always feel good. So playing something like this,
Ah.
uh, makes it
Huh.
makes it feel pretty good because you
Okay.
get to crunch under here.
Huh.
Now you didn't have to play this right away. A lot of people don't play it immediately,
Yeah.
but I will say that if my opponent played here as black, I'd want to play this immediately
Yes.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
then it
Yeah.
hurts white stone a little, and then
Yeah.
it helped this group. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me, I might want to crunch here right away.
Okay.
Um, Another thing, this would have been nice too. This nice extension.
Yes.
Um, but yeah. So once again, I know that you're trying out something new, but I think this will put you behind in
Okay.
most
Okay.
cases. It's just not
Okay.
as productive as something like this or this or this in this case.
Yeah.
But putting your pressure on your opponent while making points is always a good plan.
Yeah.
Um, so came from this side and he played here. So this was all good for you.
Right.
So this wasn't the normal and it was really good for you. Same with even this and
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And this is when it wasn't as good. So, um, right now you've gotten quite a lot of strength. So by crunching here or pushing here, you kind of
Hmm.
guaranteeing yourself a base, and you don't have to worry about the life of this group anymore. Um, the
So I
computer
thought,
recommend. Go ahead.
yeah, what I didn't like was suppose he went to F4, where I went. Um, Suppose he pushed up
Oh
there.
yes. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess he would answer mine. Okay. All right. That's fair enough.
Yeah, he probably would answer you. So if he does push up, you'd get a way better result. But even let's say if you played somewhere else, right, and then he played up. Yes, I understand how you feel because I felt the same way. There's a very similar. This happens in the regular Joseki, right? This is the same, like 3 stones, and then the push under, and then the
Right.
push on
Exactly.
top.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So, um, Chip, I think you're used to him always playing this move, but
Yes.
you don't have to play this move. You can play somewhere else,
Right.
and
Right.
then
Right.
Black usually pushes here. But
Yeah.
now there's a weakness here, and so usually White will play something like this. And then if this feels really small for Black, right? It should anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now you can expand over here and like, or if he kicks, then you're in the perfect spot. Or if he cuts, yeah, it's gonna be a complicated fight, but you're still gonna be. I'm sure you'll be okay because this is very high, and so it has a lot of area to run away from.
Yes. Yes.
So, so this move was recommended to me by one of my teachers, and it usually pans out pretty well. It's that same idea that we talked about in the last game, where yes, this wall is facing its stone, but this
Hmm.
is a very big gap. So nowadays, in the modern style, computers show us a lot on how to break up these gaps. And so this really, even though it looks huge, like you can just break it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, same with when we were looking at these examples. I don't want to go too much further into it, but um I just want you to understand that these big gaps, that you don't have to worry too much about them. Just make sure
Okay,
to put a
okay.
stone in that you'll be able to either run away or like make a base. And in this case, if black came over here, then you can poke at this and then I don't know, play something like this. Even though this dies, once again, you use it as a sacrifice, just like in the other pictures
Yeah,
that we've done,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I wouldn't worry too much about this move, but
Okay,
yeah, in the game itself, when you pushed here, this was a bit slow,
yeah,
because you have a lot of strength, so now you can just make it alive and attack his group,
yeah.
or the computer recommended this one as well, which I'm not too familiar with. I mean, if black plays this, then I'm sure you're fine. You know, you can make a base, or
Right, right, right.
but this inside direction isn't my favorite, but that's what the computer recommended.
Okay.
So either way, like this makes sense to me. 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 Um, but this one, it's just a little too slow. He did answer. So now you have the option again to move on and play a big move,
Yeah,
right? You could play a big move somewhere. Um, but instead you kept playing here. So
yeah.
one thing that we want to learn is when we're safe or strong, we don't have to keep playing here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I thought that, I mean, I see it was a mistake, but I thought this was, it's a running battle or something, and I'm
Mm.
supposed to skip with the three, or, that's really why I played the B.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. You have 3 stones, so you jumped. Um, I get it. Usually this is more when you're on the inside and not on the outside.
Okay,
Because when you're on the outside, he has a lot of places to run,
yeah,
right? And so this, I think he played here,
yeah,
right? In this, so he has a lot of places to run.
yeah,
Um, so this rule is more when you're on the ground level,
okay,
facing the ground, and this one is not as good when you're facing up into the sky.
okay,
But yeah, the normal move would be this one and this, and it goes into a whole thing. But once again, since you're kind of strong enough to live on your own, then
yeah,
you can look for a bigger move.
yeah,
And the computer really liked either A or C.
yes,
So this happened in the game, which is still okay. In this case, your 2 stones are very weak right now, weaker than
yeah,
these ones.
yes,
And
yes,
so this is the focus.
yeah,
If I was playing, I would have jumped here myself, because this is, making it very hard to kill these stones,
yes,
right?
yes,
And as
yes,
long as these live, then this is cut, and so this
yeah,
is the weak group.
yeah,
The computer really liked this move because black has to respond. If this becomes a false eye,
yes,
if black plays like this,
yeah,
and then I don't know, if black sleeps on this, then you can just kill the whole thing. And
yes.
so the computer always would respond with this move when white pushes here.
Oh,
So this
okay,
is a very nice move that helps these
yes,
stones
yes,
and makes
yes,
this
yes,
bad.
yes,
So there's your other option. And then the computer also really liked C, and it liked D.
oh, oh,
So all
oh,
these, you can see that 1, 2, and 3 all help the weaker side.
yes,
So
yeah,
whenever we have a cross cut, we always want to help the weaker side.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Uh,
it's okay, Marty.
uh,
That's why we're here. We're here to learn, right? But yeah, so you played on the stronger side, which gave black an opportunity to really hurt you, but
yeah,
black didn't. and then you got to make a extension. This one's a little too large. If black cut you somewhere,
Yep.
you'd be in a little bit of trouble, but he
Yes.
didn't, and then he helped you. Um, so then once again, the computer really wants you to build this because it makes this group stronger, and then makes this group weaker. And you're gonna see that through the rest of like the computer's suggestions, like
I,
the whole
I,
game.
I believe I did. I did eventually make the move. I just want to say.
Yes, you did. Yep. So this was the game. Actually, I'm very curious. Like, I know we have more to go, but this was the game you said Sean reviewed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So did he cover what we were talking about here? I'm sure he covered different things than I did, right? Like,
So let's see. So he didn't comment on that.
okay, so
But
he's fine with this then, right?
yeah, so run through the things. Okay. And this, he said, that's why he said, don't ever play this, Joseki, because you don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
And
How do you
uh,
learn? How do you learn?
I'm
If
kidding.
you don't use it, how do
He's,
you learn?
he's, he's funny because he has his own nickname. I'm okay with it. But
Yeah.
and he hated A, my move at A.
Uh,
When we
what this one?
Yeah, because he said if he had pincered you, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, right. And then I said the same thing here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So yeah, the computer wanted you to play this large knight move.
yes,
So this
yeah,
one's much more hard to
yeah,
disconnect, right? Because
yeah,
you'll be able to keep your stones connected.
yeah. It didn't even occur to me to think about the pincer, which just shows where I am.
Yeah. All right. So he didn't talk about this being slow or
Well,
the,
so he
the
said,
cross cut here.
so at this point, I mean, once we had taken about, he didn't think that my group on the left was alive.
This group?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and this shows because I had a lot of confidence that
Mm.
I thought I could make that live no matter what happened.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it has a lot of strength. The computer did say it wanted a base, but it also said this was fine too. Like,
Yeah,
at least, obviously, I have a tool that I'm using to help me, and he's reviewing
right,
it on the spot.
right.
But I think yeah, this has enough power. I don't think
I
it
I
would.
wasn't worried about it, but he said, like at this point when he played that, he said I
Yeah.
should have extended up to C9, for example.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it. That's fair. Um,
and he
but
hated, and I say he hated that my next move there because he said if you'd have pincered, what would you have done?
right, right, which is true. This is too far.
Yeah.
Um, but okay. So yeah, remember. At least with my advice,
Yeah, no, no. I
remember
mean,
the
I
crosscut.
think this, yeah, I mean, this advice of, taking care of your weak side, I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah. I think it would be very difficult to kill this group still.
Well, it has an eye in the basket no matter what. And I thought, I can make another eye.
Yeah, I don't think it would be dead. It would stink if you have to like make all these moves and black gets the outside, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, which had
But
happened. I mean,
yeah.
which, you know,
Right, right. Okay, all right, we'll continue. Um okay, um so you played here.
yeah, he didn't
Um
like this either. The armpit, he goes, it stinks. And
yeah,
I,
yeah.
and
We've t
I know, I don't know. It always looks good to me as an exception, but I understand it's bad.
Yeah, yeah. It's the only exception is when you're trying to make something live. So like if it's your last resort, like here when we were
Yeah,
talking about making this
yeah,
live,
yeah.
um then you can play it, right? Because then you're alive, right? And so
Yes, yes,
that's when it matters and is okay. But in this case, you already have like a base.
yeah.
And so like even if you just played the old school way, like this would be nice for white. Um, but playing this opens up the weakness down here.
Hmm.
So this is preferred. Same with me. I thought the same thing. I was like, I don't like this because this stone becomes really weak now,
Yeah,
or it's just helping black, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
make a living group. So, um, I mean, it's okay. I mean, this is what happened in the game, right? I can.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah.
that's
And
exactly what
then
happened.
and obviously I didn't know. I thought I answered this on top. I thought be aggressive. What the hell?
Yeah.
But it was terrible. This was bad.
So one thing, when this is high, you can actually play this move, and I know it looks crazy, but it's very very good. It's very hard to stop white from taking the corner away from black at this point.
So I'm just looking at what shape that is. So that is after the person has kicked.
Yep.
You are not peeping. You are coming in a point lower than a peep. Wow.
Yeah, it's because if black guards the corner, then you can jump out like this with the knight's move. And if black guards this side or something like this to this extent, or even here, you can hit the point here, and then you can make an eye shape, or you
Yes.
can cut, and then this is really getting dangerous for black.
Okay.
So a lot of people will play something like this too, and so then this gives you enough eye shape for life as well. So this has a major weakness,
Yeah.
which is this move, and that's why when you play this, it takes away that weakness
Yes.
now.
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then even if you just play this still is open for this move too.
Yeah.
So if he has to kick you or something to block it,
Yeah.
then that's fine with you. Because now you can just move in to
You
take
may
this
have even
corner.
said the words Aji Keshi, although.
Yeah, Aji Keshi. So it's like a racing Aji, right? So there's Aji or potential of mischief here, and then
Yeah.
you erased it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so armpit hits are only good if it's gonna give you life, right? Like if you're in danger and you need to make life, then an armpit hit is good. But if you're already like alive and healthy, then you don't want to make these armpit hits because they just get ahead of you, right? If we're looking at this in a race perspective, they're
Yeah.
in front of you now.
Yeah.
So, so this is where you hit on top. You could have hit below,
Yeah.
and then the same thing would have applied, right? If he plays like this, you cut into him, he takes the stone, you hit on top, you play on top, and now he has to like continue to make life because he's not alive yet. But all your stones are like somewhat connected.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. I just didn't know.
in this case too, the computer liked this move even better than this one, and I liked it too, because when we look at the variation, it's very similar to what we know, and then you
Right.
just take the
Right.
corner,
Right.
and so now you have the full corner, and then he has only a 2 space extension.
Yes.
So so if you do get split between these 3 spaces, you can use this too, which is really really nice. It's so modern, the Josecopedia didn't even have it, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, the
Right.
Josecopedia just said to play here, but anyway, I thought that was really cool. I like the idea of just taking this corner, um, because it's very simple, right? Like this is
Right.
very
Right.
very simple to
Right.
understand. All right, so
Yeah. So one
you.
thing, yeah, one thing that Sean said at this point
Mhm.
was, well, you've abandoned those stones underneath. He goes, that's terrible. And he goes, do you even know if they're alive or dead? And I go, absolutely not.
Mhm.
And he said, I should have tried to make them live no matter what. I should have pushed and, you
Yeah,
know,
yep, that's true. So in this case, you can lean on this group,
yeah,
and so let me see. I thought I played a variation, but I guess not. So obviously, if he just plays this, then you can keep coming out, right? And
Yep.
so now you
Yeah.
can see these stones have become
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
weak.
Yeah.
If he tries to hit you on the head, there's actually quite a lot of weaknesses here. And so with this cut, like this is the weaker side, right? So he's going to protect this side.
Yeah.
And then I think you can get away with this now, because if he comes down, then it's an Atari, and then
Yeah.
you get to kill these two stones.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And if he plays this way, then these stones are looking pretty weak right now.
Yeah.
So, and you have a lot of liberties, even though you're not technically alive yet. You have a lot of liberties.
Yeah.
Um, so of
Yeah. I just
course,
gave up. Yeah. I gave up too easily. I don't know.
sometimes you do that. Sometimes you sacrifice like groups without trying because you think they'll die. But yeah, in this case, what I would advise is to lean on your opponent's group to get
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
because there's a weakness here of getting a hit on the head of two stones, he has to play like this. And so now you're out, right? And this weakness is still here. And then you could maybe even play this way, right? Because if he
Oh,
tries
yeah.
to cut through you,
Yeah.
then you can play something like this.
Yeah.
If he plays here, then you can. I might play this because if he tries pushing through, there's weakness here and weakness here. So there's a lot of things that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but in this case, yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
all I can say about for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just gave up. So
Yeah, yep. And let's see. So it was at this point where Black took the lead, like a pretty sizable lead.
yeah. Yeah.
And then this was kind of I think I might have looked I did look further, but I don't know if I marked any further stuff. But
Yeah.
the
Don't.
idea is oh, go
Yeah.
ahead, sorry.
Don't worry about it.
All right, well, the idea is that when we evaluate the game now, right? We can
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that Black has a really big area.
Yep.
Black lived here, and Black got the outside in a decent area here, and
Yep.
made you small here,
Yep.
and you're small here,
Yeah.
and you're small here. You have
Yeah.
a medium area here,
Yeah.
but so I try and compare these two groups, right? Like in Black just clearly has a lot more now, so this game is
Yep.
very difficult for White at this point.
Yes.
And when I look at why this happened, it came to mind as I said that I feel like you're trying to invade Moyo's a little too much, and
Uh-huh.
you're not focusing on your own development. So if you only focus on your opponent's development, you're gonna keep getting these small areas, and then you're gonna lose by being behind in points. So like when I look at this game,
So I think, at the point where you had the four letters up,
mhm.
I don't think actually, I mean, he may have known he was ahead. I didn't, but both of us were like wandering around in the dark after that because you can see the moves in the middle are just there. I mean, I can see they have no rhyme or reason.
All right, I'll look after that too. I just really want to try and find like the reason why you had such a bad game, right? And so one of it I think is just this in general. Like I
Okay.
said,
All right.
you're
All
not
right.
developing your own stuff, right? You're just trying
Mhm,
to break
mhm,
his up.
mhm.
And so that's only a one purpose type thing. In this one, the playing like this and this and this. Well, this obviously you had to play this one, but this one too. Like
Yeah.
these are really slow decisions
Yep.
that made you very small. It made him very big, right?
Yep. Yep.
And so slow moves are like the bane of our existence, right? So once you settle, once you feel that you're strong enough, then
Yep.
we want to find the biggest moves so that
Yep.
we don't fall behind in points.
Yep.
But if we continuously play small moves, like playing on moves that our group is already alive, then we'll fall behind in points. That's what happened, right? Of course, he wasn't perfect. He didn't play like all the best moves. This is a bad
Right.
move, right? He should
Right.
have taken
Right.
all these points and won the game.
Right.
But
Right.
um, But yeah, so this one, even though I understand you needed a base,
Yeah.
it felt a little slow because it's not Sente, right? So he gets the next big move and you don't.
Yes.
And so finding like I won't say this is an easy move to find, you know, but finding moves that pressure your opponent and forces them to answer and then got you stronger, and now you can take the big move.
Yeah.
You can see the difference
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
by putting pressure on somebody and then not putting pressure on someone, right?
Yeah.
So Sente is like the goal. Um, and then finally, I mean, this was tough. Even myself, like I probably would have reacted here, and it's not even the best, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
this was tough. I will say, um, to remedy this, if you ever do get in a situation like this three space extension,
Yeah.
now even though we always talk about this and this,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is a nice move because when if he defends, then you get this nice triangle,
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yep.
and this is like it's a good amount of points, and it's very strong.
Yeah. So I just want to say, I don't think in this game I was trying to. I mean, okay, the move on the right hand side, the R10, that is to break up his moyo. But for the rest of it, I didn't feel like I was trying to break up his moyo. I was just trying to play without getting destroyed.
Okay,
I mean,
I
I didn't,
understand.
I
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah.
I didn't look at, I didn't look at his things and go, oh my God, look how big that is. I mean, in fact, I don't think, I mean, I didn't invade anything.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right, fair enough. But yeah, seeing all these small territories made me think of that, right? And same with
Yeah,
the other game too. Maybe it's just when I saw the first move, like that's gave me the impression, right, of you like trying to break up his area all the time instead of focusing on your own.
yeah.
But
I
like
mean, that
same.
that that is fair. That's a fair criticism for sure. But for the rest of it, I don't feel like jealous. My entire goal is to make sure all my groups are connected.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Um. Okay. I mean, well, obviously, I'll see in your next few games because
Yeah,
this was a
yeah.
very different style than what you usually play. So,
I
it was
was
just
trying
something I
to, I
wanted to.
was trying something new. I thought, well, if they make a point on the side like that, wouldn't I be sad? They would
Yeah.
have a send say, and like, where would I be?
Right. Right. Yep. So, you said this is where you started stumbling in the middle, right?
And I think
Um,
he too. I mean,
yeah.
if we play along, if
I
you
I think the computer mentioned this move, and we can see that if he has to guard, and then he has to guard, you can cut, and this
yes,
is very, very
oh, oh,
powerful.
oh, oh,
Yeah, so my advice to you, and it's gonna take a while before you become good at this, but my advice is always the same when it comes to the middle game. You wanna find your opponent's weaknesses and press on them, right? Whether we're just like here, whether we're trying to reduce an area, right? Or whether we're trying to break into an area,
yeah,
we want to find our opponent's weaknesses and then press on them to get the advantage because they have to answer
right,
and they have to answer. And so you
right,
continuously keep Sente while doing like great things, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
if he has to answer to like live and he's scared, now you're getting all the best moves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It would have been hard for me to find that.
yeah, no, I understand. To quote Sean, it's not your level yet, but I'm gonna show you these things, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you this stuff so that one day it's gonna click, and then
yeah,
you'll start like, okay, Mike always tells me to look for the weakest stuff, right? The
yeah,
weak
yeah,
where the weak points, right? And
yeah.
so we'll look at these weak points and find the pressure where we can pressure our opponent here, right? And so we can see like there's lots of areas where you can push down your opponent's weakness, right? Same here. Same here, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I mean, that's a beautiful move. If I had found that, I would have been
e-
just delighted with myself.
even
Even
the
that.
Yeah, even this, because it's threatening to come under here, right?
Yeah.
This clamp I think works too. So maybe something like this.
Yeah.
Um, it looks it looks a little maybe it might not be perfect, but it's something I would have looked at, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so like this move isn't like hitting a weakness, right? And so it feels kind of floating. Like I understand you're trying to break up this area.
So now I am right. I mean, now he
Yeah.
and I look and I go, well, he's got all this. I mean, if he makes that center territory, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Yep. And you're correct in that judgment. So the better way, the next level way to break up this area is to look for the weakness.
Yes.
So that's what I'll leave you
Okay,
with this
that's
game.
good.
And yeah, I mean, I think I gave you plenty to think about for sure.
No doubt.
um, any like questions or anything? I did mark some stuff under here,
No,
so
that's. I mean, the end game was the worst experience of my short Go life. Um,
so in this case, like
I
you know,
just was so uncareful. Oh my God.
yeah. So yes, if you play here, you will get killed, but it's a co, so this gives you a chance, right? Like this gives you a chance
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
I don't know, do something, right? And so if he answers, then you get like you can bring this back to life or something. So a
yeah,
co is better than just giving this up, right?
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
it's a very small thing, and like I looked, for just little things. Uh yeah, I mean, that's all I can say for now. No worries,
Okay,
Marty. I
well,
mean, you don't yeah, you sound sad this week, but you don't lose every game. I know that for a fact. So the wins will come again.
let's hope. All right. Thank you, Michael.